But we want to get there, and I tell them arrive with violent intentions and get the ball out. There's not anything else where you can actually assault somebody and not get arrested for it other than football. Maybe wrestling if there's some difference. But we want to be physical. We teach physicality. I think it helps that our offense is very physical. It makes us a physical defense. Be a gang tackling defense. Right? I want to look at the film and I want to see 8, 9 white shirts or red shirts getting to the ball. That's what I want to see. I want to see all our guys getting there. And if that's 15 yards down the field, I want a D lineman coming down there because you never know when the ball is going to pop out. Pursuit and hustle. I can't teach this. I can't beat it. Right? The effort a guy gives, simple. If you got a kid that's going to run from one sideline to the other sideline, you can teach him the X's and O's of football. It's hard to teach a guy who's lazy to become a big-time hustle pursuit guy. Quickness. Our defense is predicated on our quickness. Our defensive line, we had the lineman of the year for 2 years in a row. He was 6'3", 230 pounds. But he could move laterally. And what we do in our defense, we can't stand toe-to-toe and play a 4-3. We'll get mashed. We'll get pushed back. But we move all the time. We're slanting and angling. And the quickness creates things for us. Be consistent. You can't be good one week and not good the next week. Right? You have to be able to maintain and increase your level play every week. There's the physical toughness I talked about, pain and injury, and there's the being disciplined. I think this is the most important thing. Do my job. Do my job. Right? Our DB coach always says, I don't need Superman, I need Clark Kent. I don't need one guy to go make all the plays. I need a lot of guys doing their job, and we'll all get done things. Be accountable. And this starts with, we tell our players, you as a player are accountable to your position, whether it's corner, safety, linebacker. You have to do your job, and that way everybody else can be all right. Perfect your techniques, play with intensity. Right? Competition within our program has made us good. The competition we have, we had signing date the other day, and our guys were working out, and one of them came up to me and said, Coach, today's signing day, didn't? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, what are you going to do? I said, I'm replacing every one of you suckers right here. I got to get better because we didn't get to where we want to get. So we tell our guys that. We're bringing in competition so don't ever become complacent. Coaches coach, players play. Now here's a story on that. We were playing at a team we should have, in 2014, a team we should have just beat like a drum, but everybody's after us. Right? We go in at halftime, and defensively we have scored a touchdown and gotten a turnover inside the 15-yard line, and the score is 16-16 at half, and we're responsible for 9 of those points because our kicker missed an extra point. Right? So we go in halftime, and the head coach is all over me. You've lost your players. They say you ought to be doing this. They say you ought to be doing that. So I bring the defense staff together. I said, this is what the head coach is saying. Tell me what y'all think. I don't want to change. I said, tell me what y'all think. And they said, we ain't changing. To hell with those players. And your coaches, your players have to understand, it's not their game. The inmates are not running this asylum. We are. Coaches coach, players play. You do what we ask you to do, and all things will come out. Right? We go back and look at the end of it. Our offense had 8 straight 3-and-outs. And our defense was frustrated because we're on the field all day. And we had a big meeting about this. And the offensive line coach said, you have to believe this. Let the coaches coach, and the players better play, get players that don't believe in the coaches. Team unity. Right? When we go out to practice, we have not a lot of fights, but we have some fights at practice between offense and defense, particularly offense, defensive line, receivers, and core. They talk a lot of trash to each other. But when we come in the locker room, as part of the equipment job, I'm in charge of lockers. So I specifically put our best offensive linemen and our best defensive linemen within 2 or 3 lockers. Because I know they're going to fight. I know they're going to compete. But once they're done outside, in between those lines, they come in, I want them to be friends. I want them to understand that we're doing this together. We're competing against each other to make us better for later on down the line. Right? And they don't have to be friends with everyone. We've got 120 guys on our team. They're not friends with everybody. They got their little select group. But I want them to understand we're all in this together. Tell our players to be positive. Football's a fun game. Right? Football's a fun game. for coaching philosophy for our assistant coaches and myself. It's all about teaching. I firmly believe that I'm a pretty decent coach because I taught math. And I think math is because you go fundamentally, start at the beginning, step by step by step. That's what you do in football. You work the fundamentals early. You can't jump to one thing. I've had guys ask me about my defense and what we do in this system, and all they want is the blitzes. Give me the blitzes, give me the blitzes, give me the blitzes. And I'm like, guys, you have to know the foundation of why we blitz and how we teach it and what we do in order for that to work. You can't just go in there and throw them in. Meetings, we got to be organized. It is a classroom. Right? Be prepared for everything. Right? Know the progressions you're going through. Be on the details. Stress the little things. Be exact. Right? He's here somewhere today, head coach when I was at Brentwood High School, Jack Daniels. I was getting calls from parents. And I said, are you getting a lot of calls from parents? And he said, no. He said, any call I get, I just send to you. I said, how do you handle that? He said, you're not telling the kid, you're telling him what he wants to hear, not what he needs to hear. If the kid's not going to play, tell him he's not going to play. Tell him why he's not playing. So I started doing that. Parent calls me and I said, have you talked to little Johnny? And little Johnny says, the parent says, no, I haven't. I said, talk to him. All of a sudden, my parents quit calling me. Right? Be exact. Tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Be demanding. You guys in this room probably are father figures to more kids than you'll ever have in your life. There's a lot of kids out there that are single-parent families, mostly coming from moms. There's some that you might be the guardian for some of your players. Right? You are their dads in a lot of cases. Right? These players want discipline. They want to be taught. They want to be held accountable. So that's what we do. We're demanding of them and make them do things, make them work. Be accountable as a position coach, not only to your coordinator, but to your head coach. This is where egos can get in the way, and you have to be concerned about that. Accept corrective criticism from your coordinator or head coach. They're not on you because they think they're that much better, but they're trying to help you out. Right? And I'm guilty of that myself, especially from my head coach. Right? I've been guilty of that, and I've learned to accept the criticism he's given and what he understands. Stay positive. There's nothing worse than a coach showing up and I'm tired, I don't want to be here, and all that kind of stuff. Right? Be upbeat, be energetic. The kids expect, if you ask 100% from your players, then you ought to be able to give 100% to them every single time you step on that field as well, every meeting you're in. If you expect them to pay attention, you pay attention. Right? Don't be a hypocrite on that. Be honest with your players again. Tell them what they need to hear. Part of that passion for coaching. Look forward to coming to work. Right? This is not a job for me. I'll show up at 4:30 in the morning on Monday mornings during season. I leave at 11:30 at night. I choose to do that. I don't have to do that. I choose to stay that long. Of course, I don't have a wife or anything, but I choose to do that, right? Because that's what I love to do, and it's not work to me when we do that. I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm a little stupid, but staff and team unity. Coach and play as a team. In that staff room, it's just like that locker room. I'm not friends with all those guys. I hate offensive guys. Right? They're all arrogant. All offensive coordinators are arrogant, right? In my opinion. They just are. I'm not going to tell a story because it's being filmed, but I understand that we're all in that room for the same reason. I don't invite the O-line coach to go to dinner with me or go have drinks with me. I don't do that. We get in social situations, we're out there, yeah, we're cordial and all that, but he's not my best friend. Don't have to be, right? But I know when we're in there together and we're planning and we're trying to get better and win, we're all on the same page and locking arms in that room and coming out of there, this is the plan, this is where we're going to do things. Right? So you don't have to be their best friend, but you have to work together and understand it, and that's hard to do sometimes because you can hold a grudge.